Starting a business can be a really daunting task. It just seems like there is an endless list of things that you need to do. You need to register here, apply for this, come up with a logo, come up with branding, a website, figure out who your clients are. And there's just so many things that you need to do that it really can be overwhelming and just cause people to not start something that they probably should be because they'd probably be really good at it. So what I want to do in this video quickly is run through a list of 10 things and 10 questions that people should answer as they're looking to start a business. The first question is, why are you starting this business? I think having a good why in your business is very important. If your answer is just to make a bunch of money, while that can work, I think that there needs to be some sort of passion behind it or some sort of vision behind it and not just making money. Obviously, that can be a byproduct of having a really good business. But if you look at most successful entrepreneurs and people that have had a ton of success and maybe made a lot of money, most of them are really passionate about something and then they turn that into a business. So the first question right off the bat is, why are you starting this business? Next question is, are you setting realistic goals? Are you really understanding what your business can do? Now, I'm not telling people not to dream big. We should certainly do that. But at the same time, I think we need to have some level of just being realistic with what can actually happen. Look at some other businesses that are doing similar things. Now, maybe you think you can improve on what they're doing and do better, but that'll at least give you a baseline and help you get started. It's just important to be realistic with things, because if you're not, then you're probably just setting yourself up for failure before you even get started. Number 3, it's a pretty easy one. Who are your clients or your customers? This is really important to identify these and really get specific. If you don't know who your clients or customers are going to be, then how can you market to them? How can you develop services and products to cater to them? You can't. So you need to get very specific about who your clients or customers are going to be. I can tell you, for us, when we first started, we really tried to be everything to everyone, just kind of take on any job. And over the years, we've slowly narrowed down who we want to work with and who's a good fit for us. Not only has that helped the clients that come on board because we can serve them better, but it's also helped us in really starting to see some good growth the more that we've narrowed down the type of people that we work with. The next one is branding. And typically this starts with a name and a logo and kind of flows from there. What I would recommend doing is come up with a list of adjectives that describe your business and that you want your customers and clients to describe your business, and make that list. And then you can reverse engineer into your logo. So look at the list, see how it's being described, and then make a logo that fits with that list. And then once you do that, then you can build your website off of that. You can get a name that fits off of that. Your name might very well come directly from something in that list. And then you're starting to build a brand. And then once you start to build your brand, all your marketing materials, all of your content, everything that you're doing is then flowing from that brand. So I would encourage people, start with a list, start with what you want your company to look like and how you want to be seen, and then reverse engineer into your logo and your brand, your website, and all of those other things. The next one is, how do you differentiate yourself from your competition? And obviously, if you can't do that, if they've been in business longer and you don't differentiate yourself, chances are no one's going to buy from you. So I think that's important. Right off the bat, how do you differentiate? Typically, there's 3 ways that you can do this. It's price, quality, or convenience. So I would encourage you, pick one of those 3 to start and just find a way to absolutely dominate that specific one, whether that's maybe a little lower pricing, maybe that's a little better quality product, or it's just making things more convenient for your clients than your competition is. If you can focus on one of those 3, and you may end up in 2 later down the line or 3 down the line, obviously if you can do that, you're going to be really dominating. But if you can focus on one and figure out how to really, really dominate that, that's going to lead to more success right off the bat. Number 6, and this is one that people think about all the time and they continue to think about once they're in business, is choosing an entity structure. There's obviously all sorts of ones out there. There's the sole proprietor, the LLC, the S Corp, the C Corp, and there's all different ways that you can kind of form your entity. And it's important to understand the tax consequences of those, how you take money, what the ownership structure looks like, and how that all relates to the structure. So I would kind of go through some of those questions first and then start to back into what the best entity structure is. And I would encourage you to talk with an attorney about this one. You really want to get this right, make sure that it's set up properly, and so you don't have any issues down the line. Number 7, and this one also I would encourage you to talk to an attorney, is make sure that you're registered in all the right places, the licenses, the permits, all of that stuff is taken care of from the beginning. Things like sales tax license, setting up your payroll, registering in certain states to do businesses, making sure you get an EIN with the IRS and you're registering, in the right states. These things are really important to have in place before you do any business. And you really need to be talking to an attorney to make sure that all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. Number 8 is, how are you going to get capital and money to start your business? And there's 2 different ways. There's debt and there's equity. So debt is just getting a loan from the bank. That's one way to do it. The other way is equity. Now that can be kind of a 2-part way. One can just be you simply putting money into the business to get it started. Certain businesses don't really require much startup capital, so that may be a viable option. The other side of equity is actually getting investors into your business. So while they're putting in money, and it's not something you necessarily have to pay back right away, they will own a piece of your business. So it kind of just depends on what makes sense for you. But it's important to figure out which route you want to go, and maybe it's both. It could be a combination of both. Maybe you want to give up a small piece of equity, not a huge chunk, and finance the rest of your business with debt. That's an option. But really start to figure out what that looks like, and how to best set it up for your business. Number 9, getting trusted advisors in place around you. That could be accountants, attorneys, financial advisors, IT people, HR people, whatever it is. It's important to surround yourself with the right professionals that can help guide you in certain areas. Most likely you're starting a business because you're passionate about something, and you want to be spending your time talking about your product or service, talking to clients and customers, running the business, trying to grow things, not worrying about, is your technology right? Is your accounting right? Is all the legal stuff and all the registering, is that all right? You should really be focusing on your business, and one way to do that is just surround yourself with a good team of professionals that can help guide you and point you in the right direction. And the last one is my favorite. How do you keep track of your books, and how do you pay your bills, invoice clients? You should have a system in place. QuickBooks can pretty much handle all of that for you. You obviously have to do some work, but it's important to just keep track of things. I can tell you from experience working with all different clients over the years, when you start to get behind and you start to lose track, it's very hard to get caught up and to start the ball rolling again. So even if you just start in Excel, keep a list of all your expenses, all your money coming in, who owes you money, who you owe money, and just keep a good detail list. Even if it's in Excel, it's important to have something in place. So this one is big. Obviously for me, being an accountant is something that we love to do. But as you're starting a business, it's something that you should really get accustomed to and place a lot of emphasis on right off the bat. Starting a new business can be really overwhelming, like I said before. It just seems like there's an endless list of things that need to be done or considered. Hopefully this list of 10 will help point you in the right direction and at least guide you a little bit so you don't feel too overwhelmed, and you can really go after your passion in creating a business that you love. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.